Hello again, Leo. I'm Dadhichi from astrology.com.au. I'm having a cup of licorice and Lagundi tea. It's supposed to be good for your lungs. I have a bit of lung trouble here, so I'm trying to avoid coughing too much while I'm doing your monthly reading for October. And the first striking astrological signature that I see for you this month is the current full moon phase. And it's happening in the 9th zone of your horoscope, which relates to the higher mind. Now, what do we mean by the higher mind? Obviously, when we say the word higher, it implies lower. But let's look at the lower mind as that conscious mind which we use for everyday activities. The higher mind is really the transcendent mind, the mind that is plugged in more to the universal energies, the concept of the meaning of life, that type of thing. And so why am I saying all of this? Because that's where the full moon is occurring for you this month. So a lot of you listening to this are probably thinking, well, what's the practical use of this? Well, when you function from the position of the higher mind, and this seems to be the theme for you this month, for some of you anyhow who are tuning into what's going on spiritually, if I could use that word, the practical benefits are that you tend not to worry so much about the outcome of what you're doing. It's difficult, but it's not really. If you ask any creative person who works in a creative field of endeavour, they will tell you that the supreme work is the work that takes place when the lower mind is not really intruding on the process. That's that filtering mind, the mind that is steeped in memory, fear, apprehension, what's going to happen if I lose this, or what will happen to that. Of course, I'm not saying you avoid that completely, but we have to deal with planning and that sort of thing. But this month it seems to be all about just letting go of that for a moment, just staying put in the moment, and allowing the higher mind, the non-reasoning mind, to function clearly. Now, if you do that, the new moon that takes place around 2 weeks later, that new moon in your horoscope is going to take place. Psst, that's my cat being very naughty. She loves scratching my brand new Turkish table. And then they try to get even, you see. It's like humans. Some of them are like that. I was just saying to you, the new moon takes place in the zone of the lower mind. So it's interesting because, a new moon usually means the commencement of something new. So if it's in your zone of relationships, it could mean a new relationship. Here, in the zone of the lower mind, we just talked about how you're drawing in this energy from the higher mind. Using that creative, spontaneous energy can actually revolutionize your rational thinking and the way you communicate as well. So it's a funny thing, the very opposite energy is going to enhance those energies that we're talking about here. So the first few days of the month, drawing in this higher energy, the higher mind, spontaneous, creative beingness, and then cultivating that. And we can see that if you do that, at least experiment. Just surrender to the moment and just forget about everything else. Take your phone off the hook. Put the face of the clock to the wall. Take your watches off. And then just do something that your mind finds great satisfaction in. It can be anything. And just see what happens with that. And then later in the month, you'll see that that cleansing or shutting down, it's like fasting. A lot of people swear by fasting. I do. When the body's been overloaded with eating and food and all that sort of stuff, just simply fasting, shutting the system down is very, very replenishing, very refreshing. to the body. And that's what I'm saying can happen under this transit for you in the latter part of the month. Now, you've had this Venus energy also passing through your sun sign. Of course, that's made you attractive. You've had the power of persuasion. You've got Jupiter in the 11th house. All of these practical aspects of your life should be going quite well, which is why I've harped quite a bit on this higher spiritual component of your life and cycles at this point in time. We see an excellent transit for you when Mars moves to the sign of Sagittarius. That's your 5th zone. That's the creative sector of your house, love affairs house. And it's also considered the creative mind. So I'd be estimating that if you can just think with me on this and just give it a go, what do you got to lose? A little bit of time maybe, because in that higher mind state, there's a sense of timelessness. There's not even a sense of timelessness. What I'm saying is you cease to be thinking in terms of linear time. It's more of a vertical experience of just being in this moment. And when Mars moves into that area on the 26th of October, I think you feel an immense push along these lines and a real practical insight, not just intellectual curiosity or mulling over what Dadhichi said in your monthly reading, but an actual experiential feeling of what this is like. So that also occurs just after Mercury, which has been retrograde, and that happens on the 5th. Mercury goes forward again on the 26th, so that's coinciding with this as well. And for you, Mercury is connected with your finances, profitability and friendships. Now, it could be that if you use some of these exercises I've just mentioned, the fully creative, spontaneous mind will bring you some solutions to these financial issues that I'm seeing there for you just now. Whilst you've had the very good energy of Venus in your sun sign, bringing all of the adulation and the love and the fun, its movement to the sign of Virgo, your 2nd house of finances, is not such a good thing. And it's also got to do with your work because it rules your career sector. So that can show a diminishing of your earning power. Think with me here, because it may not be that your salary will be cut. But, and this is all going to tie in, I am doing full circle here. Though I didn't know where I was going with this, because I like to read these charts clearly from, again, a spontaneous position. But what it's telling me is that the money may not be slashed in terms of the cash you receive, but you may have to work longer hours. And of course, unless you're able to get into that timeless state, this is going to bother you a lot. So you get where I'm going with this. By stepping out of time, you'll be in that timeless space, doing your work, living your life, doing what you have to do. And if you're not concerned by time or the outcome, nor for what you're getting for that, and that's a big leap of faith for a lot of people, if you can do that, then the doors of insight are going to open up for you this month. There you go. You can get some more insights on the monthlies at my site, astrology.com.au, and we have a lot of free psychic readings there, textual-based monthly readings, daily readings, and of course the yearly forecast. That will contextualize everything I've just said here in the larger picture of what's happening for you, Leo. And I look forward to your company here next month again, and of course at my site. Take care. Thanks for joining me. Good night.